Hey everybody, welcome to Team Eat Sweat Pray Team Call. Sindel Glenn here is leading the call, and we are just doing our announcements quick. We launch in the UK in 2 days, right? So that's exciting. Kate, Christy, do you guys have any other announcements at all aside from that?
I just have one quick one. So next Tuesday, we will be doing, is it next Tuesday? Did we decide next Tuesday? I have to look. Then we're going to do the Emerald Mastermind in place of the team call just because it's a 5-week month. I also know that Halloween is on the next Tuesday. So we'll have, sometime during that week, we'll have our new coach sneak peek into coaching. But next week will be the Emerald Mastermind. So if you haven't signed up for that, do sign up because we'll be doing some brainstorming and talking about how we're going to kind of push that forward and learn and grow together in that kind of mentality of business. So that's it.
Christy, any announcements? Kendra? Alicia, Laura, do you guys have any announcements? All right, well, we're going to jump right into it. And like I said, you guys, if this little lady does not stop fussing, I can kind of hear her still right now. I might just have to go get her, but I'll let you know if I have to do that. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Hold on 1 second here. If I can find my thing. Okay. All right, guys. So we are going to be talking tonight about making your challenge groups fun. I think sometimes when you jump onto a team call, especially if you're new onto this, sometimes it's a little intimidating because we do talk about some serious topics. We talk about, money making. We talk about, just the basics of how to get people in, inviting, like all those kind of hard things that really are not exactly hard, but we like to make it hard in our own minds. So tonight we're just going to talk about, really just making your challenge groups fun, because when you make them fun and energetic, can you guys hear my child knocking? Their bedroom's right over here and he's knocking. Anyways, we're talking about making them fun and just energetic, because when you make them that way, that's what keeps people intrigued and wanting to join you in your challenge groups and just keep you going. So we're going to jump right into it. All right, for newbies here, maybe people that have not hosted their own groups or whatnot, why do we even run these challenge groups? Well, first off, I think we all know that, it keeps us accountable to our goals, doesn't it? Like, I know this is what keeps me accountable to mine, but it gives us clear, concise, consistent steps to share with everyone. We get to show people how to do their fitness, their nutrition. We give them the support. We are the one-stop shop, you guys. And honestly, we all are a little bit of therapists too, because we all know this is a little bit of a mental game, when it comes to this lifestyle, this healthy living. Our groups help us build network outside of those family and friends. We give our challengers a place that they get to go to just be happy and healthy and, share their struggles, share their wins, all those different things. And those in turn lead them to better success. It's organized. We create them systematically, you guys. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but if you have not tapped into your resources, you should certainly be doing so. I mean, we have tons of resources as far as how to run challenge groups. Our Coach Online office, if you haven't tapped into that, definitely do that. I mean, we have a whole systematic way of doing this to make it easy for you. And then you got to make your own little spin on it. And that's where the fun part comes into this, because we can give you systems galore, but if you don't put your own thing on this, it's just not going to work. And your people want you. There's a reason they joined you, and you have to put your own spin to this. It's going to give you a good way to collect testimonies. I mean, I did my check-in tonight. You might see a few, if you go to my page, have already posted out publicly. Like, my check-in tonight was, what have you gained in this challenge? And I do participation points. So it was 5 extra points for them to post it publicly. So things like that, you get those testimonies and people get to see that, hey, this person's for real. They're actually helping other people. And there's lots of other things. I'm not going to read this all to you. You go on and take a picture. You can go back and rewind the recording. But this is obviously where we build our business, you guys, is in challenge groups. So your mission for your challenge groups, though, is basically be showing everyone that taking care of themselves, their mind, their body, their spirit, the full package is not only necessary, but it can really, truly be flippin' awesome and fun. I mean, this does not have to be totally serious, you guys. This can be really just a fun thing. And part of it is making sure that we're setting them up for success by finding them the right program, really making sure we're fitting them with the right tools that they need to reach their goals, and make it fun. Because let's face it, you guys, most people think that fitness and nutrition and like the whole eating right, everything isn't very fun. It's just how it goes. All right, so why is fun the key to success for challenge groups? First off, it's going to infer positivity. I mean, when you're having fun, there's positive and motivation, and hello, don't we get that little bit of dopamine, you know, that little bit of hormone release when we're having that positivity, that fun, and we want to crave it. We want that a little bit more. You're more likely to have more daily engagement when you have a fun challenge group going. There's going to be less overwhelmed because you're going to want to be engaged, and it doesn't matter how much work you have to put into it. It's fun, so you want to do it, so that overwhelm time gets decreased. People are more likely to continue with their work towards their goals after your challenge is over, or they're going to be wanting to jump into your next challenge group and your next challenge group and your next challenge group. That is how you build your lifers, you guys, is by having these fun, engaging challenge groups. So let's jump into the guts of it on how we can, you know, really build that fun atmosphere. So first off, have fun with positive reinforcements. Now, I don't want to sound like we're dumbing this down by any means, you guys, but I want you to think about, how does a parent get their kids to actually reinforce good behaviors? I mean, that's really what this comes down to, is positive reinforcements. Even as adults, it goes right back to the basics of what we needed as we were kids. We need to be shown like, oh, that makes mom happy, therefore I should do that. Like, that's kind of the things we need to do, because negativity does not work, you guys. I mean, study after study after study has shown that negativity is not going to help us. We can't make our challengers feel bad that they're not reaching their goals. We can't poo-poo that, you know, they're not hitting, you know, their check-in every single night. None of that stuff is going to work, but we need to celebrate the times that they do. So we want you to obviously focus on the positive reinforcement and get rid of the perfectionist. Like, it just does not matter if this is perfect. It's just not going to get you anywhere if you focus on encouraging them to make this a perfect thing. You want to celebrate their individual goals. You see this image here that I made this, actually, I started this 2 groups ago, and I've kind of always done something similar. But this is the first time I've been doing weekly ones where I'm doing these weekly positive reinforcements. Before, I used to do it just at the end of the challenge. And I found that a lot of people kind of fall off the bandwagon at the end of the challenge. So this kind of gives them weekly re-engagements. So I'm also celebrating their individual goals. You can see on here, I'm tracking their individual fitness goals, their Shakeology logs, and their nightly check-ins. And if you guys have questions on how I specifically do this, I will be happy to share at the end. But at the beginning, I want to know how many days a week they actually want to work out. And I celebrate them according to what individual goals they have, because not everybody wants to work out 7 days a week, you guys. And I found with my other groups, I wasn't celebrating the individualness with them. I wasn't giving them that positive reinforcement of, look, you reached your goal to work out 4 times a week. Instead, I was just celebrating the people that were working out 7 days a week, when that wasn't their goals. Like, that did not make sense. So it's almost like I was, you know, kind of shunning them, that their goal wasn't 7 days a week, because I wasn't celebrating that they were actually hitting their goal. Your challengers really, truly just want your approval. Don't forget to love on them, because that's how you're going to show that you're giving them your approval. And like I said, I don't mean to make this a little bit more of like, we're a parent, they're a child type thing, but that's kind of the relationship. I mean, they look to you as a leader, and that's what you have to show them. And that's how you're going to show that you notice them. You're validating, you're approving of what they're doing by celebrating those positive little things. And then in turn, you guys, when you're doing this, when we're saying, oh my gosh, you rock, you totally nailed your individual goals, you worked out 5 days this week and you wanted to work out 4, that is awesome. When we recognize those things, they start valuing that, oh my gosh, this was good. And hey, you know what? It was easy. I actually made it 5 days and my goal was 4. You know, the next week they might work out 6 days. You know, and celebrate those non-scale victories with them. You know, all those little things. Don't make this all about necessarily the fitness and the nutrition of it. Celebrate those little tiny things that they're doing, whether it was they were checking in 7 days this week or whatever it is. Just give those positive feedback and you're going to get more engagement. So here are some additional just little positive reinforcements that you can use. You can use shout outs in the group. I do this fairly often. I'll be like, hey, you know, this person did awesome. You know, you can take a quick picture of them, shout out what they did. You can also do public spotlights. And It depends on the person, but sometimes you want to ask for their permission, and you can publicly say, oh my gosh, this person has been doing X, Y, or Z. I'm so proud of them. You can send them a personal message. You can do a leaderboard like I had on the previous screen, where I have everybody that's partaking in that challenge. You can give away prizes. I do a big prize kind of towards the end, but sometimes I'll do other little prizes throughout. Handwritten cards, you guys. I mean, we don't have to make this all about like some big thing you're giving away. Sometimes just getting, I mean, who doesn't love mail? I absolutely love getting a handwritten thank you, or, oh my gosh, you did X, Y, or Z for me. Like all those things, getting a handwritten note in the mail is like the bomb. So figure out what drives your people. And if it's that words of affirmation, a handwritten note is going to be, huge for somebody that maybe won't necessarily care if you sent them a shaker cup. Kind of figure out what it is that really engages people and what they feel, I guess, the most loved by, if that's the best way. And these pictures up top are things that I've given away before, and I kind of love all of them. They've worked really good. I've gotten good feedback on them. All right, so encourage daily engagement. Obviously, when we have daily engagement, doesn't it make us feel better? I mean, when I have daily engagement in my challenge groups, I feel like, dang, I'm running a good group here. Like, this is exciting, right? It's when you don't have that engagement that you're like, oh, this kind of stinks, and we obviously need to change that mindset. But remember, you set the tone. So if you expect them to show up, you better be showing up. And I always tell my people this, it probably is almost redundant in my groups. I always say, I don't expect perfection, but I do expect participation. I say it over and over and over and over again in my groups. And that's kind of what I set the tone at. They're going to see me in my faults. Just Sunday, I told them how I binged on a huge, massive amount of candy, and I kind of regretted it. But at the same time, I was going, I have to block that thought of, oh my gosh, I have all this guilt. And like we talked about, the guilt that goes with it. You set the tone. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because they need to see that in you too. They don't need to look at you as this perfect person. Now, obviously you don't want every single day being like, yep, today I sucked it up again, guys. You can't do that. You have to have that vulnerability, but also be that good role model. But set those clear expectations with them. I like to do a kind of what do we call it? Usually a kickoff call. And we set the expectations right at the beginning of the group of saying, this is how the group is going to roll. And we kind of go through the whole process of what the group, so they have a clear idea of what's expected. I define what my role in the group is. I tell them exactly how I'm going to be showing up, what I'll be doing, what to expect from me. And then I tell them exactly what I expect from them. And like I said, I don't expect perfection, but I do expect participation. I tell them right from the beginning, if you have a crappy day, which there may be one or two during this 3-week challenge group, I want you to talk about it and share about it, because often we want to hide those things. And that's part of what we're changing, you guys, is changing that lifestyle and that thought of having to hide our little flaws, because this is a place of safety for them. And encourage responsibility. Now, the responsibility, you have to realize that your groups are going to be fun and engaging because of you showing up and doing the work, but know that ultimately it comes down to them, okay? It's really, truly, it's their responsibility to show up and do all those things. You just have to show the expectation for it. So encourage those daily things. And how can you get that daily participation? You can do a daily photo challenge. I know daily photo challenges have gone over really, really well in different groups. I've done them for mini challenges. I've done random photo challenges during the challenge, during the 3-week group, just a random Friday, maybe just being like, hey, we're going to do this for a photo challenge. You can do those things. Track your participation, you guys. There is a tracker. We have one that you can print off, and there is one that is electronic in our Google Drive. Track your participation of your ladies. Engage the nightly check-ins. Tag them. If they're not checking in, you guys, you need to be checking in with them. I like to set my gals up with accountability partners. Now, I've done groups both ways, and honestly, I get better feedback when I have the accountability partners. And something I've done this last challenge is I've been really encouraging them to, get to know their accountability partners. So my check-in, I think this was last Friday, my check-in for them was, what is your accountability partner's goal? And what goal do you guys have set for each other for the remainder of the challenge. And the participation on that was awesome, you guys. Like, people were really like tagging each other, and people that hadn't really engaged with their accountability partners, it kind of forced them to do that. And I honestly saw a huge increase in my following days after that, because they're like, oh yeah, I'm in this. They see that team, they see that family that's being built. Like I said, you can do the random mini challenges, but ultimately, you guys, it really comes down to, like I said, setting that tone, having that clear expectation, making this fun, but really giving them their responsibility. Because if we could do this for them, you guys, we would do it for them, but we can't, that's just all there is to it. We can't do it for them. So one of the things I have actually started doing is I do a contract, and there's a copy of that I'm pretty sure it's in our drive, but I've also posted it to our group. It's just a simple contract I made on Canva. You can change the name of it if you want. But I have them sign a contract at the beginning saying that they are responsible for this and what kind of the expectation is. And I think that has really helped with those daily engagements too, because they realize, oh, this isn't just, about me. It's about, they kind of see that this all plays together, that their participation is going to affect other people's participation as well. All right, now we want to decrease the overwhelm. Now we want to decrease the overwhelm for ourselves, you guys, and for our challengers, because honestly, it comes down to when people don't have follow through and they don't actually complete things, usually it's because straight up overwhelmed. It's like they get there and they see all this stuff they have to do and they freeze. You have to prep them. You have to prep. Like we talk about prep meal plannings. We talk about prepping for all this stuff. We are constantly telling them, make sure you're prepping for this, but we also have to prep ourselves. We have to know what we're going to be posting. Make sure you have that system in place. That's going to decrease that overwhelm. And remember, don't drag people. Like, you just can't drag people. And I think I know, well, I don't even say I think, I know I let myself get really overwhelmed with feeling like I needed to do more. And I didn't have everybody wasn't participating. And it was so overwhelming to me that I was like, what am I doing wrong that everybody's not partaking in the group? You guys, you can't drag people. They're going to participate if they're going to participate. They're not if they're not going to. Yes, you can re-engage them, and I encourage you to do so. But after you've done kind of those different, have kind of a system set in place where, and I tell my people this, like I said, prep. I prep them right from the beginning, telling them, because I like to do one-on-one calls with my beginning challengers. If this is their first challenge group, we do one-on-one calls, 15 minutes. We talk about goals. I talk about expectations. And I ask them, okay, if I tag you in a post, and you don't respond, you're probably what is my next step? What's best for you? And I usually ask them, is it okay if I send you a Facebook message? They usually say yes. Okay, is it okay if you don't respond to my Facebook message? Can I text you? I ask them those things, you guys. And if you go through those steps and those people aren't responding, don't drag them and don't feel bad about it, okay? You send them a message that goes, okay, that's all right. I'm here when you need them. And remember, sometimes less is more. Sometimes we want to throw so much stuff into these groups and we think we need more and more and more, and we're not getting engagement. So we must need to do more for this. Not necessarily, you guys. We don't expect people to live in these groups. Yes, we expect them to participate and we expect them to get results because of their participation, but we don't need to overwhelm them with all these crazy things that they have to get done because they're busy. You guys, we're busy. They're busy. We know how life goes. And we don't want them to fall off because they're like, well, I have 7 different things I have to do for this group, when really all they need to do is meal plan, to eat right, and do their workout. It's 3 things. That's it. So some other ways you can decrease that overwhelm is know that people will quit. Like I said, don't drag people. Know that people will quit. You guys, you can look at the top coaches. You can ask any one of the leaders on our team. We've had people quit all the time. I usually, honestly, a lot of times it's the same people for me over and over and over again that they jump in, they'll do prep week. They're like, I'm going to do this time. And then they disappear within 2 or 3 days. It happens over and over and over again. Those are the people, though, that I have really acknowledged, and obviously it depends on your one-on-one relationship with them, but I have flat out acknowledged and said, okay, this is the deal. I am setting accountability partners, because if you have somebody, you guys, that keeps doing that, when you set accountability partners, it's now an opportunity for you to say, hey, this is what we have, and it's fun because they get a friend out of this, right? We tell them, hey, you get this accountability partner, but you can't disappear, and you acknowledge that. And don't be afraid to acknowledge those things, but know that there's a good chance that they're going to quit, and don't feel like it's because of you. It's not. It's nothing you did. This is just, a place that you get to make this fun, energetic atmosphere. And if they don't want to partake in it, that's on them, not on you. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Go live in your groups without makeup. Go live after a workout. Don't feel like everything has to be cued and on point, and that if you're going to go live, you have to have this going on. Trust me, my lives are usually just insanely crazy because my kids are usually jumping in. It does not have to be perfect. They have to see that real life too, and just be okay with that. Know you can schedule it. I mean, hello, who was excited about Facebook letting you schedule things in groups? I mean, that was like, I was so excited. Like, I like Hootsuite, but come on, now that you can actually just schedule your Facebook posts, amazing. And if you use the My Challenge Tracker app, you can schedule all of those too. So definitely schedule your things out to kind of decrease that overwhelm. But remember, you have to show up, because I know when I first started Hootsuite and stuff, and part of this was also I was co-hosting a lot of groups with other people, and that is amazing. We definitely encourage you guys to do that, especially if you're a new coach. Co-host a group. It decreases the load from you. But remember, you still have to show up, because if you don't show up, your group's not going to be fun, you guys. They know when you're just scheduling things and just letting it go. Read those check-ins. It's nice to schedule the stuff out. It decreases the overwhelm, but then you actually have time to go and actually read their check-ins and see how their day was. And don't take this too seriously. I mean, seriously, like, look at our wonderful photos here. Like, I post silly photos in my groups all the time. Ones that I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to be mortified at the thought of having a photo out there of me that wasn't like a good photo. And now I could care less. Like, seriously, don't take yourself so serious. Use those resources, like I said at the beginning. We have a Google Drive that has all of this information. We have scripts. We have all these things, especially if you're a new coach. Use those scripts right away until you can develop your own. If you go into the Coach Online office, you guys, go to the Coach Online office, click on training, click by training by, I think it's different program or something like that. And you can actually see full written out guides for a complete challenge group. You can use those and just copy and paste them. You can also, in the My Challenge Tracker app, those are all queued right in there for you guys. So when you go to the My Challenge Tracker portal, you can simply copy and paste, essentially, or it's not even copy and pasting. You can actually just like click on it and then choose the date that you want posted. Like, it's really, really simple. And remember, something is better than nothing. A lot of times we think that, oh, well, if I don't have this perfect, I can't do it. You guys, anything seriously is better than just not doing anything at all. And trust me, your challengers have no clue what a challenge group is supposed to look like. They have no idea. They are just happy that you're showing up and you're putting in the effort and that you care about them. Because if they're not showing them that part, you guys, then you're not running a challenge group right, because that's what they should be feeling from it. They shouldn't be going, oh my gosh, my coach is amazing because she always posts, at a certain time. Like, they're not caring about that. They're going, I am happy my coach is showing up and that she personally messaged me and said, hey, how are you doing? And actually cares about me. That is what really matters. And that's when they're going to be really engaged, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this community is just a loving, fun community. And you got to keep going with it. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but make sure you're setting times that you do that. So I know, like, if you look at that tracker form, you guys, that I was mentioning, and if you guys have questions and you want me to show you it at the end, I certainly will. But that tracker form has times, like every week I try to connect with my gals in my groups just to see, okay, how's it going? How did this previous week go? It doesn't have to be something long. Honestly, you can do a voice memo and say, hey lady, how's it going? And like we learned from Sarah Gobb, you can copy those voice memos and send them to all of your people. Like, seriously, it takes me about 5 minutes because I want to know what they're doing. It's not that I'm being impersonal, and I will individualize messages if I know something's going on in their lives. But remember, just something's better than nothing. You just have to show up and care. All right. So we also want you to encourage the lifestyle by living it, you guys, because I know what it's like to be overwhelmed, and you need to show them that you know what it's like to be overwhelmed, but you also need to show them how you deal with your overwhelm, and also just life in general, and how you pick yourself up, and show them that, those seemingly small, insignificant little daily changes, like drinking your Shakeology every day, it adds up, simple little things. And remember that it's all about, the mental game as well as the fitness and the nutrition one. And honestly, if we can get the mental game down, the fitness and nutrition part, like, that comes a lot easier. So if you are living this lifestyle and you're having fun, they're going to too. Seriously, they will. Don't be offended when they don't show up, you guys. Don't burn bridges. focus on your leaders in your challenge groups. And by all this, I mean, don't get offended. Like I said, when they don't show up, it's not because of you, it really isn't. It's because they were either too busy or they were, something was going on in their life and they just forgot. Don't burn the bridge. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt that they didn't show up. Reach out to them, ask how they're doing. And if they don't respond to you guys, don't keep overwhelming them by sending message after message. Hey, how are you doing? Are you going to check in? Like, don't do that. Don't be that person. Instead, send them a message that just straight up says, I am here for you when you are ready. That's all you have to say to them. Don't burn that bridge. Let them know they can come back at any point. You guys, I have 2 ladies in my challenge group right now that they have fallen off so many times. And this is the first challenge group that they've actually really engaged in and just done amazing. But I didn't burn that bridge with them 2 months ago when both of them completely fell off the face of this earth. And I just simply sent a message that said, hey, I am here when you need me. And they both reached back out and they're doing so good because it was just not the right time for them. But focus on your leaders too. I think sometimes it's really easy for us to focus on so-and-so's not participating and this person's not participating. Hello, you have to do these groups for the gals that are participating. Those are your leaders in your groups, you guys. Those are your diehards. Those are the people that you want in this. And they make it a lot more fun when you focus on those leaders and encouraging them, because those leaders oftentimes are going to turn into your coaches. They're going to turn into the people that are, making your groups just more and more fun. All right. So what do you do? I want to hear what you guys do on your groups. I'm going to stop my share. I hope my computer doesn't die. I'm just noticing my battery's going low here. Does anybody want to go first? Is there anything fun that you guys do in your challenge groups that you'd like to share with our group? Don't all talk at once. We can go around the room. I can call on people. I think everybody hosts challenge groups here.
So what I've been doing this challenge group is Monday, I do Motivation Monday, like a fun little post. And then Tuesdays are Tip Tuesday. Like I did, instead of using sour cream, do Greek yogurt, just little tips. And then Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday, that it's saying hi. Say hi. Hi. And stuff like that. I think it's a little bit more fun, and then it keeps me with a schedule too. And then I even did like a Flex Friday, so everybody can show their muscles, what they've been working on and stuff. So that's what I'm doing new with this week. Or this challenge, I should say.
Wait, I want to know what you do for Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, I don't have it all planned out, but Fridays are always Flex Friday, and then Saturday I just like to do, or Saturdays and Sundays I feel like people have more time, so then I like to give them like a more educational post.
Okay.
Or like a good recipe.
Okay. And then I was thinking like Thursday you could do like Thirsty Thursdays and talk about Shakeology or something.
There you
I've
go.
done that in the past. That's fun.
Uh-huh.
Or like I've done water bottle, like then do your water bottle selfie for Thirsty Thursdays. And I've joked about, my Thursday Thursdays used to not consist of water.
Right.
And then you can always have them do a fun story, like, okay, share a college embarrassment story. Anybody else do anything fun in their groups? I'm sure you all do amazingly fun things.
We have the messenger thread for my ongoing, and so every night for check-in, I say, hey, I posted the check-in in the Challenge Tracker app. But then everyone checks in with a GIF of like how their day, like their overall feeling of their day, because GIFs are like, or GIFs or whatever you call them, are like my favorite thing in the whole world. So we do that every day, and it's super hilarious.
I love that. So you do that for check-in, Chrissy?
Yeah. So like I'll say like, hey, check-in's posted in the Challenge Tracker app. Let's see how your day was. And then everyone sends like, cause really there's GIFs going all day long, but like, there might be like Elmo burning in flames or, like different things kind of depending on how the day goes. But it's just kind of fun to get them interactive in like a right now type of way.
I love that. That's awesome.
I do a lot of the same things as you, Sindel, just because we probably talk. One thing like with the check-ins, and maybe you mentioned this, but one thing I found really successful when I feel like people are just like, ugh, I'm sick of sharing. Like I don't do what did you eat everything that you ate. I do that some days because I like to catch people, but that sounds bad. But yeah, I do. But the emoticon, so I'll do like describe your nutrition in an emoticon, describe your fitness in an emoticon. And everybody always checks in on that one because it's easy and it's fun. So, something a little bit different for check-ins. That is one thing that I do as well, but we do a lot of the same things. So anyways.
I love those. I don't do enough. Okay, when you say emoticons, are those emojis?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm not exactly the most up on point.
And it's fun because some people, they like it because they'll post like hundreds of them, like 10 emoticons just for how their like nutrition went that day. So it's just kind of like, it's something fun that's like, I don't have to like sit and type out how my day went.
I love that.
Oh, and one other thing that but we used to do was we had the topics. This is just another idea. Maybe, unless I missed this when you talked, but I don't think you said it. It was like a topic that they were going to share about, that they were interested in learning about. So at the beginning of the group, there was a spreadsheet that was like, who wants to share about benefits of water? Who wants to share about this? And then it got them a topic that they would share about on a certain day of the week. So that was another thing that we've done in the past that I feel like and then I'll stop talking. I feel like I think it's fun to switch it up for each group, and I like do something different. Like, don't feel like you do all of these for one group, but just to add in a few different things. So it's just a good reminder to like keep refreshing your group.
Especially if you have ongoing groups.
Yep.
I love those. Kendra, Angela?
Yes, I had to leave the sword fight in order to unmute my computer because it's constant chaos. And
He wasn't banging on the wall like mine was. Like, he must have gone to sleep. He stopped doing it. So,
like, two of mine are crying and one is cheering and two swords are broken. And so I just thought I'll remove myself for a minute. But something I do for my groups is I do a weekly challenge with a small gift each week. And when there was more of us I'll come out in a minute, honey. She's gonna come out in a minute. When there was more of us leading, we would do like 2 challenges. And so we would give away something small. Don't have to be anything big. But I think my feedback on that was people really liked that extra push to do something extra during the week. So I still do that when I'm leading alone. I usually just do 1 a week though. And it might be a $5 gift card. It might be a headband. But both of those things are really easy to ship and quite reasonable if you find good deals on that stuff. So and then something else that I thought was really fun that I did with my last group is I did like a more interactive type thing. And one of the posts that I thought got a lot of people going was share like an old picture. Like I said, school picture day has me thinking, share a picture of old school picture of yourself. And so it was just really, really fun to see what everybody posts, because in the group, there's a lot of people that are actually friends, or so-and-so went to high school together or college together. And so it just really brought back a lot of memories for people, I think. And then it just kind of gave you a glimpse into everybody's life a little bit, I guess. But I do too. I try to switch up that nighttime workout or that nighttime check-in post with something not so much food, water, workout every single night, because people do get sick of that. Although I have had some groups too that have said that they really like that for staying accountable too. So it's kind of so we try to throw in a few of those and a few different things every evening. But other than that, I need to get creative. I need to start thinking of other things, because you're right. I have like those same 15 challengers that are in every single group, and you do need to kind of constantly get new ideas on how to mix it up so that they don't get bored, because they're dedicated and these groups obviously keep them engaged. They like it. They come back. So you got to kind of keep finding new things for them. So I love all your guys' suggestions.
I just was reminded of one thing that I started doing that's really fun is once a week we challenge, like there's a couple different ladies who kind of help lead, but we challenge the whole group to do like some sort of random throwback, like Shalene or like Slim and Six or something on Beachbody On Demand that's like they've never done. So like Turbo Fire or like things like that, just to get them, because I think even though we want to follow a program, like the routine can get a little monotonous and you feel alone even though you're in a group. like when you're doing that. And so when everyone does it, then they'll share like their videos that they would never post live on Facebook, like on our messenger app, and it's freaking hilarious. So this is like an example of one of the gifts going on tonight about how somebody felt. I mean, it's just fun to like, you know, this gal felt like Britney Spears today, 2007. You know, it's kind of fun. Thanks, Sindel. Great call.
Angie, Laura, would you guys like to share? My thing is going to die. So
I have an idea that I kind of want to run past people. I have the same 2 girls that are winning the participation points every single time. And that's great because they're dedicated, they're sticking with the groups. But I was wondering if anyone's ever done like a miscongeniality of the challenge. Just trying to think of something different to recognize people in a different way. I just didn't know if anyone's ever tried something like that, or if you think it's a good idea.
I think it's an awesome idea. I love it.
It's kind of like Sindel talked.
People vote on it. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is, you know, who's supportive, who's showing up, and, you know, doesn't have to be the person that lost the most weight or that showed up every day, but that was supportive, and just trying to think outside the box. Because like Kendra said, it's the same 10, 15 people that are participating every time with a couple new ones. So it's nice to keep them engaged.
I have a couple of, sorry, Kate.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I have a couple of those people who actually like, it's really kind of funny to me because they never participate ever. They want to be in every single group, but they check it, like they post their workout and their thing. They just don't do a picture of it and they don't show it publicly. But if I go back and I look at like all of their things, they're logging every single day, which is a nice part about the challenge tracker app. But they've had results that are like amazing. They're just not the kind of people who like are like me necessarily, or like us who are like wanting to share that piece, or maybe it's a little bit overwhelming or it's just not their thing, but they want to keep going. And I've done like what Sindel says, you know, doing a quick like shout out about something that they've done, like checking in with them individually or doing the miscongeniality or like recognizing them for some sort of accomplishment, even outside of our groups. Like maybe they got they passed a test for their job like Angie just did, or something like that. That's not necessarily group related either. That's just an idea.
I also think it's okay. Like I've started to not just do I used to always do prizes for the person that had the most change and the person that participated the most. And now I've kind of changed it. So like this past time I gave it to one new person, brand new challenger, and did a drawing for, well, not a drawing, but kind of a drawing to pick a number for a graduate challenger that participated in the group, but they had to complete their before and after forms. So if they didn't complete their before and after forms, they didn't get it. And so I did it at the end of the group. And I said, even if you didn't have the best results, complete your after form. So it's more of an incentive that way. So even if, I think it's good to change it up too.
I love that. And then you get their before and after pictures because.
Yeah. And that's another idea is I try to create a before and after picture for each person, unless they've created it themselves so that they can see like from the day one, I keep their day one and then their progress throughout the way. Cause some people don't know how to create that. So anyway, sorry.
I love that. I think that's great. And I know, Kate, you and I have talked about, how you do the day one. Like, you guys, seriously, how powerful is it if you've been in a challenge group for 6 months and maybe they haven't put together their pictures and you are like, hey, here's day one. Look at you now. Like, that's huge. And what a motivator for them to be like, oh, I can do this. Maybe they have 6 months left before they feel like they're going to hit their goal. Like, that's huge. I love that idea. I need to do it. I know we talked about it. I haven't done it yet. So.
It takes time. So it's like, eventually.
Angie, how about you? Anything fun you do particular in your group? Groups, I should say. Oh, can't hear you. No, shoot.
Can I share one other thing while you're trying to figure it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is only because somebody was like, oh, I really enjoyed this. I don't know if you guys, like, the hardest time to stay on track is the weekend. So I did a prize. It's just a mini challenge like everybody's talked about, but I said, okay, everybody who sticks to their nutrition plan and only has one cheat over the weekend and does their workout each day, a Beachbody workout Saturday and Sunday, will get the prize. So like a lot of people are like, man, that kept me on track on the weekend, which is usually that time when I get off track. So I don't know if you're thinking, need a mini challenge idea. That one went over well in my group.
What do you do for your prizes, Kate? Do you do like samples of Energize or like what is
I've
your
done headbands, gift cards. What else have I done? I could do, it's usually gift cards, but I'm trying to get away from that because I feel like sometimes you end up spending more when you could spend a little bit less on something and they get it in the mail and it feels more like, oh, wow, cool, I got this in the mail. But nothing, I don't do the same thing every time, if that makes, it's always something random that I have, like a water bottle.
You should mix it up too. I mean, and you guys, I don't know if you guys are Amazon Prime fans. I'm really bad at Amazon Prime. I kind of am addicted just a little bit, but I definitely found that sometimes it's a lot cheaper just to order something and send it directly to them via Amazon Prime. Like it gets there quickly. I don't have to go to the post office because I'm terrible. I do not know what it is. I would like to complain that the post office hours are just ridiculous, but really it's just I don't get there in time. I'm terrible at it, but it's really easy.
I do really random
You
prices.
use the Go Motivate Yourself bottles, Cindel?
The way? What
Go
are they?
Motivate Yourself. Kendra uses them too.
Are those the ones?
Oh, I'll send you a link. They're super cute. They're blender bottles. They're shakers.
I feel like that'd be a really cool thing if we could share like good ideas that you find on Amazon for gifts. Because I always feel like I'm randomly searching and I'm like, this is lame. I can't find anything good. So I would love.
I'll post a couple of them in the team page, but Kendra and I found a couple of them a few months ago that we've been using. So.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Angie, did you get it figured out? I'm sorry. Well, feel free to text it or type it in on any ideas that you want to share on the group. Anything else anybody would like to share at all before we wrap this up? Thank you all for jumping on. And I don't know, you have to make them fun because seriously, I don't want to keep doing this if it's not fun. I mean, it's boring, right? So, all right. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Bye.
Thanks, Cindel. Awesome call.